You're watching The Wellness Hour, the leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. Today's topic, how to look fabulous at 40 or 40 plus. With us, we have an expert on the subject. In fact, a fitness legend, the inventor of the Slim and Six, Debbie Siebers.
Wow, that's quite an introduction there. And a tongue
right.
twister a little bit in the beginning, right?
Now, I've been a big fan of yours for quite some time.
You have.
And I'm glad you're on the show, because you're all over television.
I'm so happy to be here. I know I'm so blessed. My infomercials have been running for the last 10 years, and I just shot my last infomercial a couple weeks ago in New York, and they're editing it now, so crossing fingers that it rolls out.
So you have been like a motivational speaker and an inspiration within these programs. In fact,
yes.
I guess the Slim and Six has done about $90 million.
I think even more, actually,
So,
to date, which
good for
is
you.
amazing, and I'm so grateful because it's helping so many people out there, and that's really the most important thing. And the fact that I used to be overweight and had my own battle with weight loss, I have to kind of pinch myself every day that I'm able to, reach out and offer this program that really takes people from a beginning level to an advanced level in that 6 weeks. So it's very doable. And, because that's the bottom line, isn't it? People get very frustrated very easily when it comes to weight loss.
Now, I have a lot of questions about weight loss, because I want to hear your philosophy and your approach. And you know what I like is, before we started, you feel like you've almost figured it out.
I have
Is that right?
figured it out. I have.
Okay, we're going to get there in a second. But you're also a host. I mean, you interview people.
Yes.
You're a for-hire person to speak at events and things like that. Is that right? Not just health?
Well, health and wellness. I like to call myself a lifestyle expert. I was a keynote speaker at a few wellness seminars, and I spoke about tools to achieve a healthier lifestyle, and also how I overcame compulsive overeating.
You had a problem early on, is that right?
Yes, I did.
And you look great. I know your age.
Thank you.
Can we say your age?
Yes, we can. We
51 years old.
I'm 51.
You walk in here, and I meet a lot of people that are in great shape. And but you really are walking your talk. So
Thank
congratulations.
you. Thank you.
And you live this, right?
I do live it. I do live it. And it's not something that happened overnight. It definitely takes a lot of discipline, but it's really like adopting a lot of new positive behaviors to cancel out all those negative ones. And they all add up over a period of time. But what I found is, if you want to change your life, you really have to shift your focus and change your conditioning. And that happens on a lot of different levels.
So let's start there. Somebody watching this, they're in a rut, okay? Maybe they know what they have to do, or they think they do, and they can't get the leverage on themselves to take action. So how do you do it? How do you get started? How do you get back in the game of health and wellness and fitness?
It's such a great question, because really making the decision is the ultimate power, isn't it? And so once you've really decided, some people are overweight, unhealthy, and they really are happy and they don't really care. But whether you're 10 pounds overweight or 100 pounds overweight, if you feel badly about yourself, then you've checked out on your life. So it's time to make a change for the better. So make the decision first and foremost, and then set your intention, and then you really want to set those mini goals. You don't want to overwhelm yourself. I love this saying, like, look at the first step instead of the whole staircase. You got to start somewhere. So I think people get so overwhelmed. They think they got to work out 2 hours every day. They think they've got to eat nothing but vegetables, in order to achieve the results. The truth is, if you set the mini goals and you stick to that game plan, you are going to make progress.
So plan of action, stage one, for the person, they're saying, I want to get started.
First of all,
exercise.
That is so great.
Write
down your goals. The first,
like what? I mean, look, I want to weigh this. I want my body
for
fat
me
this.
Personally, when I was trying to achieve a specific goal, I wrote down, first of all, you have to be realistic with that goal, right?
All right.
And you have to set an intention. And then when you write down your goals, you have to be very specific. Ask yourself, what am I passionate about? Because passion will lead you to your purpose. Most certainly.
So is it a weight goal? Is it a dress
Whatever
size?
it is for you. Whatever it is for you. Maybe it is, I want to be more healthy. Maybe it's, I want to be more energetic for my children. Maybe it is, I want to get down to a size 2. But what's the emotion behind that? Is that what's going to make you happy? Because ultimately what we're all looking for, I think, is to be happy.
All right.
And so my first goal was to find a role model. In what I was trying to do, which was become a host and a spokesperson, you find a role model. So if you're trying to lose weight.
Okay, so you're our coach.
Right.
You find a role model.
You find a role model. For me, that was what I did. Let's say somebody wants to lose weight. They find somebody that's achieved their goal and they pick their brain. And believe me, when you've accomplished your goal, you want to share your wealth. You want to give back. You want to help somebody. You want to inspire somebody, don't you? You want to motivate. And I find becoming a motivator yourself really fuels you to keep on track. So that was my first goal. Then the second one is become an expert at what you want to do, because knowledge is power.
All right.
So, I mean, there's so much out there. You know, listen,
so read about nutrition.
Read about nutrition. Okay. Find the exercise program that's going to best suit you, because there's a million things out there. But, you know, it's overwhelming. Somebody starting out, they're like, well, I don't know. Should I do this? Should I do that? What's this exercise ball for?
So how much exercise, by the way, should they get?
I think starting out, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. Again, if you start out, okay, I'm going to do 20 minutes 4 times a week.
Okay, so set some sort of goal.
Set
20
your
minutes
goal.
4 times a week.
Yes, because then you build your foundation, you build your endurance, and then you can work up from there.
And what about you now? Where are you now?
I work out, you know, really, I work out to maintain. I'm not one of these insane people. I work out 45 minutes to an hour, but I combine the cardio, the resistance training, and the yoga, because yoga for me is like medicine to my body. You know, I can't live without it. And as we get older, that's a whole nother story. You know, you're dealing with the aches and the pains, and you really have to be careful when you're launching into a program for the first time to take the care, to do the proper warm-up, to do even the yoga poses that's going to really even prepare your body further, and then make sure that you're stretching thoroughly after you work out. So you don't get discouraged. If you try to do too much too soon, guess what happens? You burn out, and then you don't want to, you're so sore, you don't want to do it again. So you have to be realistic with your goal. Start slow.
Hire a coach.
Or talk to somebody.
Talk to somebody
get support.
Been there.
Get support. But you need to take action every day towards that goal. I don't care if it's going online and getting involved. You know, there's so many community chat rooms you can get involved in if you want to lose weight. Beachbody, the company I work for, has an amazing community. So if you start my program, you go on the message boards and you can jump into a thread that's already happening, like 40 and over, or I've got 100 pounds to lose and I don't know where to start. Or you can start your own.
Have you ever had anybody that through your Slim and Six or your variety, you know, various programs where they've lost over 100 pounds?
Oh, absolutely.
And how do you know that? They come up to you?
I meet these people, Randy, over the last 10 years. It's been so amazing because, again, Beachbody is like a family, and so they award our customers trips. You know, we have these summits every year, and the next summit's coming up, the end of June in Vegas, where there's going to be 5,000 of our Beachbody coaches there, most of which have done my program, or somebody in their family has done my program. So they come up to me and, you know,
what do they say? What do they say?
It's amazing.
Because beyond the weight loss, it's like giving them their life back.
It's so emotional.
It's
so emotional. I mean, one, for instance, you know, it saved her mother's life. You know, it really is that drastic. Or, you know, just giving people hope, or, yes, giving them their life back. Because when you lose weight, you have more energy, you feel better about yourself, you're empowered. You're just more productive.
What did they say to you, by the way? Because I know, you know, when I met Tony Robbins, I had certain things I wanted to say. But when they meet you, do they say, you said this that inspired me to do this? Or what I liked about what you did? I mean, what did they say to you? Like, what is it about your program that they like, that they compliment you about?
Thank you. The biggest compliment I think I get is that I'm very approachable, that I give you a modified version. I let you know that it's okay if you can't keep up with me. Thank God I'm not annoying, you know, so they can tolerate me.
She's not annoying at all.
I'm not annoying, you know, because sometimes when you watch these videos, you know how sometimes you just want to mute them, you know. I'm very good at instructing and giving them the cue just when they need it. You know, you've only got, 5 more reps or whatever it is. I kind of have a sixth sense of when to cue that.
Okay, so for the sake of time now, we have to talk about the eating plan.
It's
What about that?
listen, it's 50-50. It's half the battle. So that's another reason why you have to have a game plan.
Is it half or is it more 80% nutrition?
For some people, I would say it is 80 because if you don't have proper fuel, that's key. And I think the problem is most people are eating too large of portions and eating all the wrong things. What I figured out along the way is the way to stay lean is you've got to eat the small little meals throughout the day. Okay. You do. Because let's say if you skip breakfast, then you're going to be likely to binge
or have a
bigger meal.
Do you even have to catch yourself every once in a while and say, you know what, I got to cut down my portion size?
Once in a while, only if I let myself get hungry, which I never really do because I eat every 3 hours because that way your metabolism is going to be working efficiently.
Do you time it? How do you know?
It's just kind of a natural thing. You get into a rhythm.
Okay.
And it's really the small little meals throughout the day that's going to, because think about it, even if you're eating a healthy meal, if you eat too much, the rest is going to be stored as fat. It doesn't matter.
So are you low carb, low calorie?
High protein, lots of vegetables, whole grains, good fats. If you're going to have your carbs, have them for breakfast. Stick with your oatmeal or your whole grain cereal, something like that.
So you're not afraid of gluten and those kind of things, or bread?
Well, I do try to follow a gluten-free diet.
So you don't eat bread? You don't eat gluten?
If I do, then I get a gluten-free bread. And Whole Foods offers
that's good to know,
a lot
because
of them.
cereals are filled with
certain ones are gluten-free now, and there's such a large selection you can get.
So wipe out gluten,
surprised
get rid of gluten.
if you have an allergy to it.
All right.
Otherwise, you can have whole grains, but in moderation. Remember, whole grains, brown rice, oatmeal. Get rid of the white flour products. Get rid of the potatoes.
You never have white flour?
Very, very rarely. I'm not going to say never because I'm from Wisconsin, and when I go home. What can I say?
Okay.
It happens.
All right.
But for the most part, I'm very healthy. I'm very clean. And it's really not eating 3 hours before you go to bed. It's making sure you get a variety of vegetables. Remember, portion control is key. You have to remember, you can't go out to dinner and have just this enormous entree. Cut it in half, take the rest to go, have it for lunch the next day.
I told you in the green room over there, I said, but doesn't everybody know what they have to do? You like lean protein, low glycemic vegetables. And you said they don't.
I don't think
I know
they
what
do.
I feel like I have to do, but I'm guilty of eating good food, but too much of it.
Too much of it.
You inspired me. We got off the phone and I said, you know what? She's right, and that's why coaches come, it's like I have to take advice.
It's so true. If you want to have more energy, what we put in our mouths is fueling our body. And if you want longevity, you want to prevent diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, all of those things, you have to cut out all the added fats and sugars.
Do you have more energy than your other 51-year-old friends?
I believe I do.
Are there 51-year-old women out there that you say, that you hear their story and you go, wow, this is like an older woman?
Well, certainly there are some out there, and if they're in the fitness and wellness area, but I think for the most part, people just kind of give up hope or something. They reach a certain point and they think, oh, it's too late for me. Believe me, it's not. And I do have one story I want to tell you because this follows in line with excuses. And I've met so many people that have achieved unbelievable feats in this area, and they just sparkle with energy, and they're so happy and feel better about themselves, and that's what it's really about. I gave out the award a couple years ago at the summit for Beachbody for the best transformation of the year. And you know who won?
Who?
As a woman in a wheelchair.
Interesting.
She did P90X, but she just did what she could with her arms, and she was consistent, and she did what she could every day, and she lost 60 pounds. And, I still get emotional thinking about that because when you hear all the excuses and when somebody like that has that determination, listen, you can change your life tomorrow if you want.
Excuses must stand out and stick out to you because everybody has their story.
Yes.
I have my own story. Everybody has their story.
Everybody.
Well, because of this, or I'm working too much, or so what do you say to that? How do you get past the excuses?
Well, that's where the goal setting.
How do you get over your story?
Well, that's where the goal setting comes in, as well as you making yourself a priority. And if you make that priority and you schedule that in and you stay accountable, you keep a journal. There's so many different tools that I talk about when I do my motivational speaking, because that's a thing. Fuel your mind with positivity. So you're reading the positive books.
Watching positive television.
There's so many amazing programs that are going to inspire you. There's Breakthrough with Tony Robbins. There's the Master Class with Oprah.
Yeah.
These shows are awe-inspiring. There's The Biggest Loser. There's all kinds of things.
So you don't watch the bad news then?
I really would rather not.
You don't, yeah.
Keep yourself positive. Do your affirmations every day. So another big thing is changing those negative thought patterns, because what we think about is what we're manifesting into our lives. So if we're constantly telling ourselves, I can't, it's too late, I don't have enough time, all of those things.
So what are your affirmations?
Mine are, I'm so
daily.
happy and grateful that all these amazing opportunities are coming into my life. I have faith in myself. I believe in myself. Those kind of empowering things. And by the way, ask yourself empowering questions.
Okay.
Like, what is going to make this worth it to me? Instead of the questions like, why am I so lazy? We're not victims. We're the director, the creator, the writer of our lives. And you have the ability. Happiness is not a destination. It's a decision
So
we
positive
make.
thinking is a big part of your weight loss. Big part of your health and wellness.
Yes, because
Good for
I
you.
was in that hole. I've been there. I was there thinking there's no way I'm going to break this cycle. I was such a compulsive overeater. I had no control.
One of my things that bugs me, I don't get mad in traffic. Very few things bother me at all, by the way. But when I see a skinny doctor that's never had a weight problem in his life and just thinks it's exercise more, eat less, that bothers me a little bit. Or a really overweight personal trainer or a really overweight nutritionist kind of bugs me.
Right.
And maybe I'm jealous of that they're successful and they don't, they're not walking their talk. But with you walk in, and I was thinking, okay, well, we're going to see here. And so here's a person, but you also say that you battled it yourself.
I did. I really did.
You were chubby at one time?
I was
just an eating disorder?
And again, we talked about it just really matters how you feel about yourself. So even though I was about 50 pounds overweight,
really?
And to some that's not that much.
50?
But to me,
yeah.
I was always active in high school. I was a cheerleader, I was a gymnast, I was in track and field. I ate whatever I wanted. I had poor habits. I unfortunately had a mom that loved to bake 24/7. And, I had no knowledge on how to eat right.
And so one day you just woke up and you're heavy.
Well, like most women, we graduate high school, we become inactive, and we go to college, or for me, I was a lifeguard. I'm sitting in a chair, and I keep eating poorly. And before I knew it, 20 pounds escalated to 40, and it was just that feeling of I don't have control. You think you're going to start that diet the next day, and you're determined, but then you have no willpower. And it's really the emotional.
So that can be turned around. That switch can be turned around.
If I can do it, I know anybody can. And it's a process and it's a commitment, but it really is flipping that switch and adopting the new positive behaviors, the positive thoughts, retraining and reprogramming your brain, setting those goals, doing all these little positive disciplines. And the more consistent you are with that, and by the way, that's my philosophy with everything. Consistency is key.
Now we talked about 10 pointers with you on the telephone, and so power of positive thinking, volunteering, giving back, getting passionate about your life, getting involved, motivating others, and balancing it all out.
Right. That's it.
Can it be easy to do those things, to do everything we're talking about? And of all of those, what's the toughest thing for the clients or the people that you meet to master?
Everybody's so different. I mean, for some it might be the exercise because people just hate it. They can't wrap their head around it. But if you find something you enjoy, and whether it's just going outside and walking, and that's another way just to commune with nature, get yourself out of your head, and you can be reciting your affirmations at the same time. It's all positive energy.
Affirmations, obviously you're thankful, you're grateful, thank you for everything I have. Do you also say things like, I eat well?
Yes, I have total control over what I'm eating.
So you do these things.
I have discipline, and I thank you for a healthy body, and I'm on my way to achieving my goals. I know I can achieve my goals. And by the way, write down all the negative chatter. I say I like to kick the inner cynic to the curb. write down all those negative thoughts that you have on a daily basis, and then right next to it, write down a positive affirmation, something to flip to. So whenever that thought comes into your head, you immediately go to the positive.
Yeah.
And it's, again, training.
So what's good about this? What can I learn from this? What's funny about this situation?
Yes.
So you know what's interesting? I mean, I have the luxury of interviewing some of the peak performers, great business people, and I think what some people don't realize is that when I really go deep like this with you, that you guys are all doing the same thing.
Right.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, you're all, positive attitude. You're saying, Randy, I don't like to watch the bad news. I have to have a plan.
Right.
You work it all the time. Because there will be people that are watching this, if they've made it this far, that will say, I tried that stuff. It didn't work. I tried the affirmations. It didn't work. I don't believe that she ever had a weight problem. I mean, here you are, world-class shape for any age, especially at 51.
Thank you.
And so, again, everybody that I talk to that are very successful in whatever they're doing, they do all of these things. So what do you say to the person, though, that maybe doesn't see the same light at the end of the tunnel as you do?
I understand that, and I say it really is about being consistent.
So start small.
Start small, set the goals, and if you're consistent at anything, you're going to make progress. I think people give up. I think that's, they don't see the immediate results. They don't get that instant gratification, and they give up. That's where you have to dig deep, and you have to accept yourself the way you are today and love yourself the way you are today. Look in the mirror and tell yourself what you love about yourself and focus on that. And then also, one thing we didn't talk about yet is what I've incorporated for myself personally that has helped me stay on track is the whole wellness category. Because for me...
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Well, there's so many different aspects for me. The first thing is meditation. Because if I didn't do my meditation every day, and you could start small with that. Start with 5 minutes.
Is that stress reduction for you? I mean, would that fall into that?
It is, but it keeps me focused.
Okay.
It keeps me calm, and it keeps me centered. And that's really important in these busy, hectic times. And yes.
How long? How long do you meditate?
I try to meditate 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night.
Really?
Because that way I set my day.
Clearing your mind completely?
Yes. And you could start easy by just following your breath, just simply sitting there in a quiet place and follow your breath, the inhale and the exhale, and try to empty out your mind.
How long have you been doing that, by the way?
I've really just begun doing it the last couple of years.
Is it that big of a deal?
It is for me. And
because everybody I talk to,
yes,
I do a couple of minutes here and there, and I haven't been consistent. And I spoke to somebody recently, one of the most successful guys I know. He said, Randy, for my son, if I could leave him with one thing, it's meditation.
Yes.
And so I want to do it, so I think I just have to do it. I think you inspired me. So, but if you're not used to meditating,
I have a solution.
Okay.
Because for me, I had a really hard time when I first started. I just could not turn off the brain. And they say, okay, if you start thinking, go back to your breath. But it was so difficult for me. So what I did was I bought Dr. Weil's breathing exercises.
Andrew Weil, right.
I love him. This breathing CD just saved me in so many ways because most people don't know how to breathe properly. And by learning these simple techniques, not only does it calm your nervous system.
They say it's like defragging a computer.
It is unbelievable.
Where you're clear afterwards.
You will, if you don't have time for a nap and you went in the back room and you did these 5 exercises, you would be so rejuvenated you wouldn't even believe it. But what it does, you do the exercises and you're so calm and you're so relaxed that you're ready for your meditation now. So that's one thing. The combination of those are brilliant. So I do that every day, and then the yoga also fuels my body, my soul, my spirit. I feel it's very important to have faith. Spirituality comes into play because you have to be passionate about your life. You have to know that there's a bigger purpose and ask yourself, what's my purpose? And do I want to live my life being unhealthy? Do I really, or do I want to step up and really participate?
What is your purpose?
I believe my purpose is this. My purpose
to help other people, inspire
is
other
to
people
motivate
to be
and inspire other people in this arena of lifestyle, and that is everything from eating right, exercise, wellness. It is the balance of all these things. But because you can lose weight and you're still not going to be happy if you don't work on the inner you.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. But back to meditation for just a moment, and this may be a silly question, but so if you're doing, starting out with 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes, I mean, how do you know? I mean, egg timer, do you some sort of an alarm?
Honestly, if you're in the right space, you're not going to want to come out of the meditation, and you're not going to have to time it.
So when you say 10 minutes, it's approximately 10 minutes.
Sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's
Okay.
longer.
Okay.
And there's another thing you can do if you're really struggling. There's a million great CDs, meditation CDs. Just Google it.
That's a good tip.
There's a million out there. Yes, and I've bought many of them. And one was letting go of stress. One was just guided meditations. And you just lay there and close your eyes, and they take you through the visualization process.
So anybody can do this. Anybody can look fabulous at 40 and at 50. That means, are you the kind of person that you've seen enough transformations? People that were 50, 80, 100 pounds overweight, hopeless, that turned around, that when somebody comes to you that's 80 pounds overweight and says, I don't know, that you don't buy it. Or
No.
you just realize that it's in their head.
Yes.
Interesting.
They've made up their mind, and you can change your mind. You can change your mind right now, and you can just start easy. And as soon as you see that first result too, it's very exciting and encouraging. And that's why, again, my program, I believe, has been successful.
Slim and 6?
Slim and 6, because it does take you from that beginning level.
So get the Slim and 6.
And then
is it for men?
It's for men and women.
Real men?
Oh my gosh!
I'm joking, by the way.
Hello. And
so men
the thing
can do Slim and
is,
6
men
in the
lose
privacy,
weight
hopefully, of their own home.
With their wives, with their girlfriends. They do it all the time. But here's the thing: this is not a female workout. This is a very total body,
really
thorough, effective workout. No dancey moves.
I've seen your website. I went through that. In fact, if people want to know more about you, they go to DebbieSiebers.com.
Yes.
Is that right? They can look at your reel. They can hire you as a speaker or for their event. But Slim and 6, they can order also from your website?
They can order that from Beachbody.com.
Beachbody. Okay.
Yes. And I really do. I take you from a beginning level to an advanced level in that 6 weeks. I pretty much hold your hand the whole time. And there are modified moves. And you just feel great because when you've accomplished it, you feel so good about yourself.
Is it about enlarging your vision or thinking differently and raising your standards?
Yes, I think it's becoming...
is that where it begins also? Because you talked about that. I'm paraphrasing what you've already told me.
I think it's about being a better person. I think it's being a better human being. And what can I contribute? And how can I be a better mom? How can I be a better wife? And you're going to be better if you feel better. And if you're eating junk, guess what? You're going to feel lethargic. You're not going to feel great about yourself.
Are you of the opinion that, at 51, some people say that you're coming close to midlife, that the second half of your life can be the best half of your life with wisdom, with perspective?
Absolutely.
Do you feel as good now as you did?
I feel better, and I wish I knew then what I know now.
Do you live with a sense of urgency, like you're excited? You almost can't fit it all in of the things that you want to do?
No.
No?
I'm in a much more calm place.
Wow.
It's nice to be comfortable in your own skin. That's the beauty of getting older for a woman. There's a lot of downfalls, but the beauty is that you really know who you are, and you're not going to put up with as much as you might have used, in the past or something. But really, it's the quality of life, isn't it? We're not going to be around forever. And so how do you want to live your life? Do you want to participate? Do you want to have energy? Do you want to feel good? Or do you want to have all these health problems and feel lethargic and really be down on yourself? Because that's the bottom line. When you're overweight and you're not working out, you have a lack of self-worth.
It's depressing.
And that does. It turns into depression. And pretty soon, you just feel like, you can't do anything. So just by taking control over your life, and that's why setting those goals are so important, because taking that action is a powerful message that you're putting out into the universe. Because you attract what you put out there.
This is nice too, because going into this, I didn't know a lot about you. I see you as the fitness. You're considered a fitness legend in the industry.
Legend, wow.
It's true. You know that, but when you realize, okay, it's just somebody that's like a fitness instructor, but it goes deeper than that, because it's a psychology. It's
Yeah.
a way of life.
Yes.
So good for you.
Yes.
Very nice.
Thank you.
If somebody, and we're out of time, but somebody wants to know more, final message actually. Somebody watching this and they're going, like you say, hire a coach. Maybe start with the TAPE program.
Right.
Somebody that they're going, I don't know. They're even skeptical about themselves. Just give it a shot. Just do it.
Just do it, because you know what? You can, like I said, if all you have to do is shift that focus and recondition those negative thoughts into positive thoughts and believe in yourself.
Good.
And set those goals.
So it's like a lifestyle detox.
That's
getting
it.
rid of the bad, negative friends, hanging out with positive people.
Yes.
Getting positive information, brainwashing yourself into saying, I could do it. Is that right?
Fake it till you make it. Right.
So you believe in the law of attraction, I guess.
I believe in it 1,000,000%.
I have buddies that say, oh, Randy, please don't tell me you believe in the law of attraction.
Yes. Cause and effect.
It's their definition, though, of law of attraction. They think that you're just wishing things in your
No,
life.
not at all.
But what you think about expands in your life. Every
That's
great
right.
teacher agrees with that.
That's right. And you do have to take the actions. You can't just sit idly by.
And that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Problem
and you
with me,
do,
problem with everybody.
Right. You do have to be proactive, because whenever you set the intention and you believe in yourself and you just take the steps in that direction, doors open. It just is amazing.
We need to do an audiobook, a long version
Let's
of this
do
that we
it.
put on iTunes.
I would love it.
Okay, good. We'll do like an 80-20. I get 80%.
I don't know if I like that.
We'll do something like that. No, I'm kidding. Well, thank you for coming on the show. Very good.
I loved
nice.
it.
And thanks for driving over here.
Of
And
course.
we'll have to have you back and talk. Now, you have big plans for the future.
Big
Are you allowed
plans.
to talk about anything, or is it all
Not
top
right now,
secret?
but yeah, it's
Secret?
top secret right now.
All right, good. Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so
Good
much.
for you. Good. You've been watching The Wellness Hour, the leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. If you'd like to see this interview again online, it'll be on our website. You just put in DebbieSiebers.com or Slim in 6. You can find her that way. For now, I wish you good health.